Welcome back to another episode of the Moms Making Money podcast. I am your host, Marli, and today we are diving into something absolutely critical for sleep consultants, parent coaches, and newborn care specialists, and that is the know, like, and trust factor. And we're also going to talk about why it matters more in our industry than almost anywhere else. If you've been in business circles for any amount of time, you have definitely heard of the know, like, trust factor. And it may be something that you hear and you're like, yeah, I know it's important, but I'll figure it out or it'll come naturally. But it really and truly is so critically important. And it's something that we really need to make sure that we're weaving into our daily marketing practices. This is the idea that before somebody will buy from you, they need to know who you are, like your personality and approach, and trust that you can deliver on your promises. And in this day and age, with the online world being so huge and having so many different things going on all the time and so many different things coming at us, the trust factor is absolutely critical. So while this whole premise is true for any business, I believe that it is amplified tenfold for those of us who are working with families during vulnerable postpartum and early childhood periods. So first, let's break down why this is so crucial in our field, and then we will dive into practical strategies for building each of these components inside your business or inside your future business. So first, let's talk about why this is especially important for sleep consultants, parent coaches, and newborn care specialists. I want you to think about the sensitive situation that clients are in whenever they are considering your services. They're not just buying a product. They are inviting you into their home, either virtually or literally, and they are inviting you into their intimate family life and into supporting them with the thing that is most precious to them in the entire world, which is their children, right? So for sleep consultants, families are often coming to you after they have tried everything and they feel like they have failed. They're feeling defeated. They are questioning whether they've done anything right, and they're feeling like they've made a lot of mistakes. They are absolutely vulnerable, not just logistically, where they don't know what to do next, but also emotionally. For newborn care specialists, you're coming into their home during one of the most transformative, but also overwhelming times of their lives. They may be physically recovering from birth, navigating breastfeeding, and adjusting to their new identity as parents. For parent coaches, families are opening up about their deepest struggles, fears, and insecurities around the most important role in their lives. In all of these scenarios, clients need to feel absolutely certain that you are the right person to support them through these challenges. They need to know you, like you, and trust you at a much deeper level than they would for, say, buying a pair of shoes or even hiring a house cleaner. First of all, again, they're inviting you into their home, either virtually or in real life, and that in and of itself is a huge deal. I personally feel uncomfortable every time my housekeeper comes to my house because I'm so embarrassed about the state of my house, even though that's literally what she's there for, is to support me with that. And she's been with us for like 5 or 6 years, but still, it's a really vulnerable situation having anybody come into your house. And so now I want you to imagine inviting somebody into your home during the postpartum period or when you're struggling with a sleep-deprived toddler. Now, with sleep consulting, we aren't necessarily going into a family's home. Of course, some sleep consultants do offer that service, but for the most part, the majority of us are working with clients 100% virtually. But we are still meeting with them via Zoom. In most cases, we're still asking them to show us their nursery or their child's room. So they are still bringing us into that space, even if it's not truly in person and just virtually. Still, it is a very, very big deal for them to feel comfortable doing that. Beyond that physical space, these parents are also in one of the most vulnerable positions emotionally. If they just gave birth, they're likely adjusting to breastfeeding. And if you have done that before, we all know that that is a super stressful and vulnerable position to be in. You feel very exposed during that process, both physically and emotionally. They want somebody there who they know is going to have their best interest at heart and who they actually enjoy being around. So now let's talk about how to build each component. How are you going to help potential clients know you, like you, and trust you before they ever hire you? Let's start with the know factor. This is simply about awareness. business. Potential clients need to know that you exist, and they need to have some basic understanding of who you are and what you offer. This is where your visibility strategies come into play. And of course, we provide tons of training on this inside our programs, but it is super important to make sure that you are visible in your business for them to get to know you. So here's the thing about visibility for sleep consultants, parent coaches, and newborn care specialists. Many of us excel at nurturing others, but we hesitate to put ourselves in the spotlight. We feel uncomfortable with self-promotion and worry about coming across as salesy. But the shift that I want you to recognize is that by becoming more visible, you're not being self-promotional. You're simply making it possible for families who need your expertise to find you. You are special, and your skills, your personality, and your vibe are unique. If you don't put yourself out there and get in front of the people who need you, you are actually doing a disservice to those who could benefit from your support. So I want to recommend that you start with small steps to increase your visibility. Introduce yourself at a community event for new parents. Share your knowledge in local parents' Facebook groups. Offer to speak for 10 minutes at a prenatal class. Create simple educational content that showcases your expertise. As much as possible, show up on video on social media. People will come to recognize your face, your voice, and your style, and they will be drawn to it. If you don't want to use social media, that's totally fine. I still recommend having some videos on your website or wherever else you show up so that they can get to know you more quickly. Don't just share educational content, but also share personal content to the extent that you are comfortable. For me, I am personally not a huge fan of showing my kids on social media. So I never put them on reels or in pictures on my feed where they're going to be there forever. But instead, I do share them briefly in stories, and I will tell stories about them or share stories about them without using their name or any identifying details. That's what I'm comfortable with, and so you need to decide what you are comfortable with. And it doesn't even have to be about your kids. People love to get to know you and get to see the behind the scenes of your business. What's on your calendar for today, both personal and business? Did something silly or funny happen this morning that you can share? The smallest things that you do are going to help build that no factor. And so whenever I say like, did something silly happen? Sometimes I will share stories of something funny that my daughter said on the way to school this morning. Or one time I had put dry shampoo in my hair and forgot to like blend it in before I left for dropping my kids off at school. And I shared a picture of me with my hair all white from the dry shampoo. So it can be just like the most random things that you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened. I need to tell somebody. And those are things that are going to build that connection with people who are the right people for you, right? So if anybody is turned off by that, or they don't think that you should be sharing those kind of things, then they're not the right fit for you to work with anyway, and that's okay. So just think of the different things that are happening on a daily basis that you're comfortable sharing so that people can get to know you better. Every time that you take these actions, not only does your visibility increase, but your confidence will grow too. The discomfort will diminish with practice. I remember being so incredibly nervous the first couple of times, or maybe even the first like 30 times that I posted a reel. It was like a video of me talking to the camera, and I remember it taking me like over an hour, maybe even longer, to record like a 30 to 60 second long video, because I would do it over and over and over and just keep redoing it until I felt like it was acceptable or like perfect. And so that was something that I was really uncomfortable with in the beginning. But now I can knock out a 60-second reel in like 2 minutes because I'm just so much more comfortable with it due to practice and due to doing it so often. So now let's move on to the like factor. This is where your personality, values, and approach come into play. Potential clients need to feel a connection with you. They need to see you as someone that they would enjoy working with during a vulnerable time. This is where authenticity becomes absolutely crucial. You need to show up as your genuine self in every interaction and in every piece of content that you put out into the world. You are a unique individual with your own perspective, experiences, and approach. Nobody else has what you have, and nobody else is going to be the sleep consultant, parent coach, or newborn care specialist that you are. When you show up genuinely and authentically and lead with your passion for supporting families, that authenticity shines through, and that is going to help families see what you are capable of and why they should work with you. Do not try to be somebody who you are not. or try to mirror what other successful professionals in your field are doing if it doesn't feel authentic to you. If you are naturally warm and nurturing, lean into that. If you're more structured and educational in your approach, showcase that. If you have a quirky sense of humor, let that shine through. Your unique personality will attract the right clients for you, the ones who will resonate with your specific approach and energy. And just as importantly, it will help filter out clients who may not be a good fit for you, which is actually a good thing for both you and for them. I remember when I first started out as a sleep consultant, I thought that I needed to present myself as very clinical and scientific to be taken seriously, and I thought that I needed to cater to all types of families. But that is not my natural communication style at all. I'm much more relational and conversational and even silly, as I shared earlier. And so when I finally gave myself permission to be my authentic self in my marketing and client interactions, not only did I feel more comfortable, but I also started attracting clients who were a perfect fit for my approach. I stopped trying to cater to all parents and instead focused on what I really believe in and how I provide the best support. So now the trust factor. This is arguably the most important and complex element, especially in our field. Parents need to trust that you have the expertise to help them, that you will respect their parenting philosophy, that you will be reliable and professional, and that you genuinely care about their family's well-being. Building trust takes time, but there are several strategies that you can use to accelerate that process. First, you want to showcase your expertise through valuable content and education. When you share helpful sleep tips, explain the science behind sleep associations, or debunk common myths about infant development. Whenever you do this, you position yourself as knowledgeable and helpful. This demonstrates that you understand the challenges that families are facing and you have solutions to offer. Second, always be transparent about your approach, your methods, and your limitations. Parents appreciate honesty about what working with you will look like and what results they can realistically expect. Do not overpromise or create unrealistic expectations just to make the sale. I always tell our students to underpromise and overdeliver. And this part is really, really important because a lot of times it can feel, especially in the beginning, like you need to take any client that comes your way, or you need to fake it till you make it. And while faking it till you make it is necessary to some extent when it comes to, showing up as confident, even if you're not really feeling confident, it also has a fine line that we shouldn't cross. So if a family is sharing with you that they want a no-cry sleep approach and they want to ensure that you're able to provide that for them, but you don't feel confident in being able to provide that, or it's not something that you really believe is possible, then don't promise them that you're going to give them a no-cry approach, because that is only going to lead to frustration for them and most likely some bad feedback for your business. And so it is not worth taking on that paying client if it's not a good fit for you and if it's not going to lead to a positive outcome for both of you. So next, you want to share testimonials and success stories with permission, of course. These serve as social proof that you have successfully helped other families who have been in similar situations. Real life examples will help potential clients envision how you could help them too. Fourth, you want to establish clear professional boundaries and systems. Parents respect professionals who are organized, reliable, and clear about expectations. Having proper contracts, a structured onboarding process, and clear communication policies signals that you take your work seriously and that you can be trusted to provide a professional service. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, approach every interaction with genuine care and empathy. When potential clients feel like you understand the struggles and genuinely want to help them, not just make a sale, trust naturally follows. Remember that building trust is not about projecting perfection. In fact, sharing your own relevant struggles or learning experiences can actually build more trust than presenting yourself as flawless. For example, if you are a sleep consultant who struggled with your own child's sleep, sharing that journey while emphasizing how it led you to find effective solutions can create a powerful connection with exhausted parents. It can show them that you know where they're coming from and that you can relate to them. As a newborn care specialist, if you're working with a family that is really struggling with getting that breastfeeding relationship going, and you have a personal example of how that worked for you and the struggles that you went through, you can share that where appropriate and help them understand that they are not alone in this and that this is very common and that they can get through it. At the Cradle Coach Academy, we feel super passionate about the volunteer process for our sleep consultant students, precisely because it helps establish this know, like, trust factor before you even officially launch your business. As a student in our sleep consultant certification program, you will work with 5 volunteer families, getting high-level support from us to ensure your success. This is a tremendous learning opportunity, but it is also an opportunity for you to build your confidence and credibility. You will collect evaluations and testimonials from these families that you can then leverage on your website and social media. These testimonials will build trust because your potential clients can see themselves in the families you've already helped. They see where those families started, what they achieved with your support, and they think, maybe she can help us too. Now, what if you were just starting out and you don't have any clients or testimonials yet? How do you build the know, like, and trust factor from scratch? You want to start by leveraging the relationships you already have. Reach out to friends, family members, or former colleagues who know and trust you in other contexts. Let them know about your new venture and ask if they would be willing to write a character reference that speaks to your reliability, empathy, and passion for helping families. If you are a new sleep consultant, maybe you started out by informally helping friends and family members, and they would be able to speak to your expertise and your ability to support them through that process. You can also build trust through association. If you've been trained by a respected organization like the Cradle Coach Academy, make sure to highlight that certification. If you're a member of professional organizations or have relevant background experience, even if it's not directly related to sleep consulting or newborn care, showcase that as well. Another powerful strategy is to be vulnerable about your own journey. What led you to this work? Why are you so passionate about helping families? Sharing your why creates an emotional connection that lays the groundwork for that. Remember that building the know, like, and trust factor is an ongoing process. It is not a one-time achievement. Every email you send, every social media post you share, every consultation call you conduct is an opportunity to strengthen these elements. Consistency is key. Showing up regularly and reliably helps potential clients feel confident in your commitment to your work. Finally, I want to emphasize that while building the know, like, and trust factor takes time and intention, it also creates a solid foundation for long-term business success. When clients know, like, and trust you, they not only hire you, but they also refer you and they leave glowing reviews and they become advocates for your business in ways that no paid advertising could ever achieve. So if you're feeling impatient with your business growth or you're tempted to try aggressive marketing tactics that don't feel aligned with your values, remember this. In the intimate work of supporting families through sleep challenges, postpartum transitions, or parenting struggles, the relationship comes first. The know, like, and trust factor is not just nice to have. It is essential to your success and sustainability. Take the time to let families get to know you, to showcase your authentic personality so that they can like you, and to demonstrate your expertise and reliability so they can trust you. When you focus on these elements, the clients who are the perfect fit for your unique gifts and approach will naturally be drawn to you. If you're ready to learn more about becoming a sleep consultant with a relationship-focused approach to business, head over to our website where you can schedule a call with me or one of our graduates, Michelle, to discuss if the Cradle Coach Academy's sleep consultant program is the right fit for you. We will link this in our show notes, or you can head on over to thecradlecoachacademy.com/contact. Until next time, just a reminder that in the business of supporting families, being known, liked, and trusted is not just good marketing, it is good service, and it is absolutely critical. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode, and I will catch you on the next one.